future of agriculture, carbon augmentation. Let me invite Mr. S. Shankar, Chief Officer, GreenStok Earth Services, to come on stage, please, to deliver this message on the future of agriculture, carbon augmentation. Let's all give him a big round of applause. Let's welcome Mr. S. Shankar. Thiru Shankar அவர்களை நாங்கள் மேடைக்கு வரும்படியாய் அன்புடன் அழைக்கின்றோம்.
Good evening. What a great evening also. Therefore, I would like to tell you that this responsibility of having to address you with a small title of environment, augmentation, agriculture, everything all rolled into one, maybe it's a great task. All the same, I have kept on talking about agriculture in the true sense of being organic, integrated, environment friendly, and toxin free. Toxin free for the environment, toxin free food for the people, the human being. Well, that is not so very easily said as is attempted to be done. But we have a world history of agriculture which runs to 13,000 years. And not in India, but elsewhere. It started elsewhere and migrated slowly into Sindhu Samaveli and then on to the entire country. But we have an important record of having created a green revolution in this country. Therefore, we could feed everybody that was there with the increasing population, but we kept ignoring the most important factor, the carbon in the soil. Carbon, Karimavalam, is the only one source in the soil which can get atmospheric nitrogen to work along with phosphorus and potash to give you a good crop productivity. And every time we did cultivation, whatever, paddy, wheat, banana, sugarcane, a good amount of carbon was taken away when a chemical nitrogen is added in the form of urea or DAP. This chemical nitrogen actually took away, for every molecule of nitrogen, nearly 20 molecules of carbon. And we don't have reserve of this amount of carbon at any time after the Green Revolution. But I am not blaming the Green Revolution as such. But the carbon was robbed all the same. There is no carbon left. We are at 0.2%. The entire world is, trailing, wanting to look for carbon and finding new ways of bringing it, but it's not really easy. Therefore, what we should do is to start committing ourselves to doing an agriculture which will not introduce manufactured nitrogen into the soil. Instead, introduce as much microbes as possible into the soil and soil organic matter in terms of நம்ம ஊரில் சொல்கிற பசுஞ்சால் உரம் சாணையரு things like that, which will add to the soil organic matter, which will also therefore enable the microbes to work, and which will bring the nitrogen from the atmosphere into the soil and act by way of photosynthesis and so many things, carbon dioxide, a lot of things about science. But the most important is bring the carbon back. Means, ஒரு molecule nitrogen யூஸ் பண்ண போகும்பொழுது 20 கார்பன் கொண்டு வரணும்னா ஒரு ஏக்கரில் for every cycle of any agriculture that you do, you will need to add at least 15 tons of organic matter. This is straightforward arithmetic, but also difficult to achieve. And a country like France has committed itself to bring from 0.2 to 2% carbon. They have given a time of 20 years, but they have taken it up very easily. We have also done some such attempts in the year 2005 when India shifted its focus to organic cultivation. Well, organic cultivation does not just mean doing some tricks. The most important effort is to bring soil organic matter. 15 டன் எரு எந்த வழியிலாவது ஒவ்வொரு கிராப்புக்கும் கொண்டு வந்த பிறகுதான் இது ஆர்கானிக்காக மாறுறதுக்கு உண்டான ஒரு சாத்தியக்கூறு இருக்குது. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு வேலையை செய்யணும் அப்படின்னா ஒரு தனி மனிதன், ஒரு நிறுவனம், ஒரு அரசாங்கம், ஒரு நாடு செய்யணும்னா ஏகப்பட்ட பேர் ஃபார்மர்ஸோட கூட சேர்ந்து வேலை பண்ணணும். தேர்ஃபோர் அது எப்படி பண்ணலாம், என்ன பண்ணலாம்? அரசாங்கமே பண்ணுது நிறையா வேலை. அப்போ நாம் என்ன மாதிரி ஆட்கள் என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னா, பார்த்தோம் மண் பற்றின ஒரே ஒரு குறை, சாயில் அனாலிசிஸ் நம்ம முழுமையாக க்ராப் ஆஃப்டர் க்ராப்டர் செய்யறதில்லை. இதை செய்யறதுக்கு யாராவது ஒருத்தர் முயற்சி எடுத்தாக்கா, சாயிலில் இருக்கிற கார்பனை அப்பப்போ மானிட்டர் பண்ணிகிட்டே இருந்தோம்னாக்கா, நம்ம செஞ்ச வேலையும் செய்ய போகிற வேலையும் ஒருங்கிணைத்து முன்னுக்கு போகக்கூடிய ஒரு வாய்ப்பை க்ரியேட் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ வி செட் வி வில் கிரியேட் soil agri clinics, which will essentially establish soil testing labs in multi-locations, and particularly with Sangamaas effort, the NGOs are going to be empowered doing this soil analysis in their agriculture efforts. When that happens, you would have known what carbon you have, you will know what is left in the soil, you will know for the crop that you are going to grow what will be the need of the chemicals, if at all, and therefore you will not load the soil with unnecessary chemicals. And the soil may start to live again. Can we say save soil? It is not save soil. Enrich the soil as much as possible. So at GreenStok, we are trying to give the possible solutions after the soil testing is done, and take to the next step of achieving soil productivity and the crop productivity. Now, crop productivity will ensure enormous amount of economic activity. Price rise, price lowering is not the issue. Having to produce is the effort and the only aspect of farmers and the countrymen. Therefore, we will achieve that by starting with soil analysis. Now, environment. Now, I said 15 tons of soil organic matter to come to the soil per acre per cycle of the crop, which would mean 15 tons have to be found per acre. Where do you get it from? India is one country which is currently suffering from one environment issue, which the biggest issue and the challenge to the governments is the municipal solid waste. It's not the municipal solid waste, it's all the village solid waste. Everywhere the waste is just a waste and lying and not doing any work. Therefore, if you can integrate all the degradables and get them into a state of compost through certain scientific means, we have adequate carbon available organic matter in our waste. Therefore, this aspect of environmental abatement through imparting microbial interference to degrade all the organic matter in as quick a time as possible. Therefore, we will get rid of the environment problem. We would have also got something more productive for our agriculture activity. Therefore, having said these two, then there is a bigger issue of CO2 pollution through industrialization, vehicle pollution, so many other things. But then that is something which will level itself once you don't emit noxic substances from the soil. The noxic substance from the soil is the nitrogen compounds, nitrogen vapors going into the soil. In terms of carbon credit and carbon dioxide, it is given one NOx emission is equal to multiple CO2 emission. Therefore, stop the NOx emission through using less nitrogen, manufactured nitrogen, use more microbes, use more organic matter, adopt cultivation practices which are environmentally friendly, and then you would have seen we have achieved what we want to. And in India, we can be the real eye-openers to the other countries also. Let's therefore today pledge that we will bring soil organic matter back to the soil, and we would not rob the soil anymore of its carbon. Thank you.